Hello students, today we are going to see one topic of cyber security, module 1, TCP/IP protocol. In that we are going to see transport layer of TCP/IP protocol. We will see transport layer in detail. TCP/IP model transport layer. Up till now we have seen basics of TCP/IP model and application layer. In transport layer, we are considering two protocols which are widely used: transmission control protocol and internet protocol. Transmission control protocol is a connection oriented protocol and internet protocol is a connectionless protocol. Header, why header is there, we will see in detail. In the case when the data is coming from the application layer, a lot of data is coming from the application layer, and we need to divide the data into segment, and that job is done by the transport layer. Header, it provides a lot of functionalities and various functionalities which can be sent data properly when data is coming from application layer. Transmission control protocol header is added. Why header is added? Because bundle of data is coming from the application layer. We need to divide the data into packets, segments. In packet it is called in network layer, we have seen. Divide the data into segment, which will, with the help of which data can be sent. And header is used, that means the starting address of the data, that's why header is used. Byte streaming, TCP is byte streaming protocol. From application layer, continuous data is coming without any limitation. Just I told you, lot of data is coming from the application layer without any limitation. Transport layer convert data into bytes or segments, which is first functionality of the TCP. Segment is collection of byte. Segmenting the data in transport layer means collection of bytes. Suppose sender is sending data through WhatsApp. So receiver side, there is lot of application running on which application I want to store data is called end-to-end delivery. Suppose I am sending data to my friend on mail, and on my friend side, he has open Gmail inbox mail. Then he has open songs, he is listening songs. He has open YouTube. He has open different downloading something from the server, means on my friend laptop different applications are running. But since I am sending data by mail, it should receive to the receiver side at mail only. So that job is done by the TCP. That is called end-to-end delivery. Means which application I am sending the data, that application should only receive that data. If I'm sending data by mail, it should receive by mail. If I'm sending data by messenger, it should receive by messenger. If I'm sending data by WhatsApp, it should be received in the WhatsApp manner. That is called end-to-end delivery. Now connection oriented, just I told you, TCP is connection oriented and IP is connectionless. We know that in network layer we use IP. Why we use internet protocol in network layer? Because whenever any system is getting connected to the internet, it is identified with the IP address. IP address is the universal address with the help of which your system is identified in a internet, and it is a connectionless. It is known that datagram service. Datagram service in the sense, since right now I am broadcasting the information to all the students, that means that service is a datagram service, means broadcasting the information. Whenever any lecture is going on, that means it is the broadcasting the service. Main functionality of transport layer is reliability. Reliability in the sense, whatever data I am sending, it should be received at the receiver layer properly. Means if loss of data, then retransmit of data. Something like when you send mail to your friend and you send and you check in the send inbox. When you get that mail is sent to your friend and it is goes in the send inbox, that means your mail has been sent successfully. So such type of data which is retransmitted is done at the TCP. And how it can retransmit the data, I have told in the OSI model that if I want to send 10 packet, if I want to send 5 packet from the 10 packet, and 5 packet are sent and 5 packets are remaining, so data will not transfer from 1 to 10, it will transfer from after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. TCP gives guarantee that data will be received successfully. If I am using UDP, user datagram protocol, it does not give guarantee. Suppose bank is sending SMS to different employees like pensioner and this thing, but somebody gets the SMS, somebody may not get the SMS. So it is not guarantee that the data will be received. When you are watching YouTube videos or like a listening song, there might be the case that some part of the song is not listened to you, or part of the video is not visible to you, but it doesn't affect anymore. It doesn't affect anymore. That means that is a part of UDP. And uses TCP uses three-way handshake protocol that we are going to see after finishing this. This protocol is used as a connection establishment. Now, this is diagram of three-way handshake protocol. First of all, I am sending, the client is sending a request to the server that I want to send data. And afterwards, server is responding with the acknowledgement that yes, I will send the data. You can send the data, sorry. You can send the data. Again, the client gives acknowledgement that to the server that I have received your acknowledgement, and then communication start between client and server. This is nothing but the three-way handshake protocol. Full duplex. Here, communication between client and server is full duplex. That means when you are communicating with your friend with WhatsApp, your communication in full duplex. You doesn't wait for your friend to type something. You start typing and your friend also start typing. Okay. So that is that communication is full duplex communication. Here, receiver and sender both are connection is established, means both can send data in full duplex mode. Both sender and receiver can transmit data at same time. That is the purpose of full duplex. And you might have studied in simplex, communication will be from one side. Consider me and you. I'm delivering the lecture to you, so communication is between will from my side only, one way only. Okay. Then simplex, I give an example of traffic police. They use transformer to means like whatever they want to send to their colleagues, they to talk with that system, and they communicate, means they receive and they communicate, they listen and they communicate. So that is simplex, and that is simplex. And last one is full duplex. So that is half duplex, and this is full duplex. So there are three types we have seen previously in our videos. There is one simplex communication is there, half duplex communication is there, and full duplex communication is there. Simplex in the sense, just like when you are communicating with YouTube video, like YouTube is delivering lecture to you. That is simplex. Half duplex means when traffic police communicate with their colleagues, they talk with their the device through which they communicate, means they listen and they talk, that is simplex. And half duplex means, full duplex means communication will be at the both the end. Piggybacking is a method of attaching acknowledgement to the outgoing data packet. The concept of piggybacking is explained as follows. Consider two-way transmission between host A and host B. When host A sends a data frame to B, then B does not send the acknowledgement of the frame sent immediately. The acknowledgement is delayed until the next data from the B, host B, is available for transmission. The delayed acknowledgement is attached to the ongoing data frame on B of B. This process of delaying acknowledgement, so that is can be attached to the outgoing frame, is called piggybacking. Piggybacking in the sense, just now we have seen in three-way handshake protocol, the client is sending request to the server, and then server again respond with the acknowledgement that you can start the communication. Then client again send the acknowledgement that I will communicate, and then they start communication. In the same manner, there is a lot of time wasted in the acknowledgement. So piggybacking is a concept like whenever I want to send acknowledgement, I will send data with the acknowledgement. I will also send the data with acknowledgement. I will not simply send acknowledgement. I will send data as well as acknowledgement with the receiver and the sender. So if A want to communicate with if A send a data frame to B, B does not wait for acknowledgement of the frame. B does not send acknowledgement of the frame immediately. It acknowledgement is delayed until the means if B want to send the acknowledgement, it will not send the acknowledgement directly. If it will also send the data to the A with acknowledgement, and that's why process is delayed, and that is called piggybacking. Here, a host A send data to B, and host B send data, but it send data with acknowledgement. That is the concept of piggybacking. Means it send data with acknowledgement, and that's why it takes some time. Error control. I am sending data and some change in the data due to some voice or some activity. The receiver should get idea about that. TCP support error control. These are mandatory field. We have seen in the OSI model, there is a protocol called there are different protocols through which error can be checked. Like there are different protocol through which error are checked. So error control in the sense whether the sender is sending data is received correctly to the receiver or not, and that's you need to check. Like hash function in the sense, and in that case hash function in the sense hash function is a technique, kind of technique. That means your signal, your data which is coming from the sender side, it is checked using the hash function, and some code is generated. And if the receiver is using the hash function and that code is generated at the receiver side, if the sender code and receiver code are the same, then data is received correctly. Otherwise there is a data is not incorrect. Okay, so that part is done by the error control. There are different protocols available. We have seen in the OSI model through which I can check whether the error are there in the sender or receiver. Like there are one protocol I will tell. You saw that what I told you is a hash function, with the help of which it check at the client side, and if the client generates code using hash function, and it checked at the server side, and it also code generates function. And since this client side code and server and receiver side code are same, then the data is received correctly, otherwise not. Flow control in the sense we have seen in the OSI model, whenever we send data to receiver, we have to maintain some flow control. Receiver side, there will be conjunction of data. We have to send data according to receiver capacity. If flow control is not maintained, there will be loss of data. Now consider I'm in college, I'm using Wi-Fi, and my mobile is of Samsung, my friend mobile is of Vivo, and my another friend mobile is of Nokia, then another mobile is of Oppo. Okay, so different mobiles are accessing the Wi-Fi, but the speed is managed according to the device. That means it is called flow control. It will not happen that Oppo will get the high speed or Samsung will get the high speed and rest of the mobile phone will get low speed. It will not happen. It will properly, everybody will get the proper speed according to their phone, and that is called flow control. That means I have told in the previous example also, if I am communicating with my mobile with a server speed is very high and my mobile speed is very low. So in that case, the job of transport layer is to manage the communication. Since the laptop server speed is high and mobile phone speed is low, but still it is managed by the transport layer in the error control. We have seen that if receiver has a capacity of receiving 1000 bytes, suppose A is sending more data that to be crossing the limit, then transport layer takes care in the network. So it does to error control, flow control, and this will avoid the conjunction. This would avoid the traffic. This would avoid the load in the client server communication. Okay, so we have seen TCP/IP transport layer in detail, and now we are going to see three-way handshake protocol. Three-way handshake protocol. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. It is the reliable connection-oriented protocol. With TCP, data can be delivered successfully and accurately. Many applications on the web, such as web, email, FTP, this comes under TCP. Before TCP can transmit data, it uses three-way handshake protocol to establish connection. So, suppose a client want to get web page from server, but before any page transmission, TCP connection must be established. That is done through three-way handshake protocol. Now the client sends synchronization segment to server asking for synchronization. Means client want to communicate with the server. Synchronization means the connection. This message is simply ask, hello server, can I open connection for me? Now step 2, this was step 1. Step 2, the server replies with the synchronization acknowledgement. Means synchronization and acknowledgement. The server acknowledges that client connection request. It also asks clients to open the connection too. So it asks the client to open the connection. That is step taken. The client replies with acknowledgement, which is like yes. Then two connection is established between them. Since the client send acknowledgement, it is like yes, then the communication between them is possible. That is nothing but the three-way handshake protocol. So that is all about the three-way handshake protocol. The client sends synchronization segment, which is initial sequence number 9001. Here acknowledgement is 0 and synchronization is set to 1 because it is sending the synchronization. And the step 2, the server replies with the synchronization acknowledgement. Notice server is sending set 1 and acknowledgement 9002, which is the client request plus 1. Notice the server synchronization and acknowledgement 9002. By adding 1 to the client sequence number, the server simply acknowledge that the client connection the request. The server segment has its own initial sequence number 5001. In real life, some sequence number can be very long depending on the different servers. And step 3, the client responds the time there is no more synchronization connection request, then why the synchronization is set to 0, but client acknowledges server connection request by increasing server side sequence number by 1. That's why acknowledgement is 5002. Notice segment sequence number is 9002. Since it is a second segment issued by client, at this point it is initial sequence number 9001 and now it is 9002. At this point both client and server ID to open connection to each other. So that is all about the three-way handshake protocol. The step 1 and 2 establish connection from the client and server, and step 2 and 3 establish connection from the server to client. Okay, the two-way communication channel is established. This is ready to exchange the message. So this is all about the three-way handshake protocol. So we have seen in this lecture transport layer of the TCP/IP model and three-way handshake protocol. Thank you.